talk to you about shadows and how they are formed. Before we begin, we need to understand what a shadow is. So, what exactly is a shadow? A shadow is a dark area where light from a light source such as the sun or a lamp is blocked by an opaque or translucent object. Before we begin, we need to understand what opaque, translucent, and transparent means. Opaque is an object in which you can't see through. An example of this is our own bodies or the wood of a tree. Transparent is completely see-through. Light is allowed to pass through so that objects behind can distinctly be seen. Glass is an example of a transparent object. Translucent allows light but not detailed shapes to pass through. Translucent is often labelled as semi-transparent. Tissue paper is an example of a translucent object. Now that we have that, let's get down to business. So how exactly does light cause a shadow? As we know, a shadow is made when an object blocks light. The shadow appears on the side of the object which is furthest from the light source. The object must be opaque or translucent, as an object that is transparent will allow for light to go straight through. Here is an example of an opaque object blocking the light source. Here is an example of a translucent object blocking the light source. You can see in this example that the shadows are not as detailed as those shown before. Now that we have some idea of what objects create the best shadows and those that don't, let's talk about how and why a shadow may look different at different times of the day. To show this example, I will be using diagrams to show how the shadows change based on the sun's position in the sky. Diagram 1 tells us that it is 9 AM and the sun is low in the sky, thus creating a longer shadow. Diagram 2 shows us that the time is 12 PM and the sun is at its highest point, creating a shorter shadow. Diagram 3 shows us that the time is 6 PM. The sun is once again at its lowest point, thus creating another shorter shadow. So the sun makes the longest shadows at the beginning and the end of the day, when the sun is lowest in the sky. The sun casts the shortest shadows at midday, when the sun is highest in the sky. In conclusion, light will only create a shadow if the object is opaque or translucent, and your own shadow may be different at different times of the day based around the position of the sun in the sky.
Using Powtoon.